Reasons I'm so excited to be able to introduce you. She has not allowed inequality or any culturally limiting expectations to stop her from reaching her goals. Sara set her sights on something much higher than herself. She is helping to integrate blind people into the economies of developing nations. While she was a sophomore at Wellesley College, Sara founded Empowerment Through Integration, which began as a camp for blind and visually impaired children in Lebanon and has grown into a full-fledged school today. This would be an accomplishment for anyone, and I expect you will be sharing with us your story. So I'm not going to, scoop your story in any way. But I wanted to say, as a way of introduction, my daughter graduated from Wellesley this year. And the speaker, Sue Wagner, founded BlackRock, the investment firm. And when she finished her talk, she concluded with a slight twist on Robert Frost's very famous "Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, the road not taken." And I think she was speaking about you, Sara, even though she didn't know it. She changes the ending to say, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took them both." As a woman, you take them both. Right? All right, well, it sounded good at Wellesley, at least. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Sara Mankara.
Thank you, Anissa, for this wonderful introduction. I'm very honored to be here speaking amongst you all. And before I dive into my words for the afternoon, I want to thank two people actually here. I want to first thank Dima Kalnan, who has helped me this past week with all these logistics, so thank you so much, Dima. And I also want to thank my brother, who's actually out in the audience, who's accompanied me these past few days, and who always knows how to put a smile on my face, so thank you, Barhum. Okay, so before we start, I want you all to close your eyes, sit back and relax, and listen to what I'm gonna say. Hordes of people, clashing noises, so many voices, multiplying sounds, lost, alone, empty. Feel for a corner. Feel for a chair. Sink down. This is a camp of empowerment and hope. Hope? Yes, hope. Like a hope for? No. No, no, no. I know what hope is. I hope I'm not seen. I hope I'm easily missed. I hope I'm lost in the crowd. For this is what hope is. Because it's all I can hope for, right? Slump down. There's hope in being invisible. If I myself cannot see, I don't want to be seen. If I'm not seen, I cannot be hurt. If I'm not hurt, I can continue to exist. I've survived these past 12 years. I've survived these past 12 years following this model. Something this camp cannot teach me, for I already know. Slump down. Press my body into my body to try and achieve perfection. I am now invisible, and I can breathe now. A hand, a gentle warm hand, touching my shoulder by accident. An entire body wrapping around me, engulfing me, squeezing me. An enormous casual question. Hey, what's your name? Can I be your friend? I stammer, stutter, mumble, pause. Be my friend? Stumbling through words, tongue won't unloosen. I don't understand. How can he see me? These are reflections, true reflections written by a good friend and a colleague that worked with me a few summers ago in Lebanon when we ran the camps for both blind and sighted children. There are reflections that illustrate what these blind kids go through. These kids who feel like they have no hope, no dream. They feel like they're a burden on society. They feel like there's no hope in living. And every single time I read these words, I realize how lucky and privileged I am. As you guys see me right now, I'm a blind woman. But I'm lucky because I received the right support system and parents who believed in me. I remember the day when I was 7 years old and I woke up. The world was completely altered. The world that I used to know became a blur. I had lost my vision. I remember calling out and telling my mom what was happening. And my mom realizing that her second daughter was also blind. She hugged me really tight and she uttered the words, "Everything is gonna be okay." And everything was okay. Because she believed in me, she supported me, she pushed me to the end. She never let me utter the words, "I cannot do this because I can't see." She empowered me. And because of that, I was able to pursue my dreams, my aspirations. I was able to graduate from Wellesley College with a mathematics and economics degree, something rare for blind people. I was able to start a nonprofit. I was able to graduate from Harvard Kennedy School with a master's in public policy. Nothing would have been accomplished if I was not empowered by my mother and my parents. However, my reality is the exception and not the rule. There are 1 billion people out there with a disability, 1/7 of the world's population. Only 2% of them receive any type of education. Only 3% of them are literate. And the stats are even worse for women with disabilities. Only 1% are literate. Women with a disability are 5 times sexually assaulted than the average person. Child with a disability has the mortality rate of 85%. Why is this our reality? Why is the largest minority in the world not at the forefront of our conversation? Right now, if I ask us, how many of us in this audience are disabled? It wouldn't come close to 1/7. Why is that? Why is that our reality? It's because that population is an invisible population. Or at best, it is seen as a charity case. They're seen as population that need to be pitied or they're a burden. They are not seen as people with potential to be productive members of society. Recently, I was reading the autobiography of Muhammad Yunus, the person that received the Nobel Peace Prize because he founded the Grameen Bank, the largest microfinance institution for women, impoverished women in developing countries. And I was reading it, I came across a story which struck me. He was illustrating an experience that he had. He met this woman who's living on 2 cents a day, even though she works as hard as any of us. But why is that her reality? She borrows money from a loan shark. She takes that money, buys bamboo, and with that bamboo she weaves basket and sells those baskets. However, that loan shark takes majority of her profit, leaving her with 2 cents a day. And this is her reality because at that point in time, she didn't have access to institutions to borrow money because she was a woman. And when he met her, he had the great urge to actually give her a few dollars because that would have made her life much easier. But he stopped himself because he realized that's not what she's asking for. She's not asking for a charity. She's asking what she needs is a change in the system, a change in the cultural structure of our society, that women should have the equal participation in the economic force. And that's why he started the microfinance institution, the Grooming Bank. He realized that marginalized population don't want to be pitied and don't want to be seen as a charity case. They want to be seen as equal members of society, people that have abilities to provide to this world. You might be sitting asking yourself right now, why does this matter to me? We are all sitting in seats of privilege. But at one point in time, we are all going to face some type of disability, every single one of us. Whether that is becoming blind, whether that is losing a loved one, or being kicked out of your home or country. And at that point in time, you want people to hear you, to listen and understand what you're going through, to be seen. As we leave this conference and we go back to our world, whether that is creating policies, teaching kids, running businesses, I urge every single one of us to integrate the diversity of perspective, whether that's disability, women, whatever that might be. Go beyond the world's labels. Seek the unperceived potential in others. See people for who they are and not what society tells us to see them as. Because I was seen, and I was supported, and I was believed in, I am now confident and proud of who I am. I am a blind woman, and I wouldn't change that for anything in this world. Thank you so much.
Now is ahlan wa sahlan, let's eat, because that was just so inspiring. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fadal.